Hey everybody, hope you're having a great week so far. So this week I would like to talk about the topic of refeed days. And you may have heard of these. Most people have heard of cheat days, but these are relatively different. Now before I get into it, I would like to preface that I'm not licensed or certified in nutrition at all. All this has come from my own experience and the research that I have done. One of them is this article that I'm posting here. I'm going to also put a link in the description. Definitely worth a read to check out. It helped me really kind of refine my understanding of what a refeed day is and helped me to implement it into my diet. And when I say diet, just my normal way of eating and everything like that. But anyway, so let's get into it. So if you've ever had a weight loss plateau, or maybe you've been on a diet and you couldn't stick to it because you just ended up craving the foods that you want to eat. So a lot of people do what's called a cheat meal or even a cheat day, where they eat essentially all the foods that they restricted themselves of from their diet. Now with a refeed day, what you do there is you are in a calorie surplus like in a cheat meal, or cheat day I mean. However, it's more strategic. You're still eating wholesome, healthy foods. You may even still be eating the same foods or eating in the same parameters as your diet, but you just reduce your activity time. You don't exercise that day and it causes you to be in a calorie surplus. And so that's that's kind of like how you would implement a refeed day in a very general term. There's specific ways of doing it. Now, the reasoning behind what a refeed day is because whenever you are, eating normally, there is a hormone that essentially controls your hunger levels, and that's called leptin. And what leptin does, like I just said, controls your hormone, or controls your hunger levels, because it can tell whenever your fat stores have enough supply for later. And so it will tell your brain, okay, you can stop taking in calories. We don't need any more. We've got enough. So whenever you go on a calorie deficit, what happens is those levels in that hormone begin to drop. And so this causes those intense cravings, or the hunger that you get whenever you are introduced to a calorie restrictive diet. Now with a refeed day, again, you are in a surplus, but the idea of why it works is because it's, whenever you start losing those leptin levels, you're introducing back into a calorie surplus, especially, with, carb focused, it's going to raise those leptin levels. And those leptin levels will, having them raised will keep you from having those cravings. Now there are some, downsides to refeed days. The biggest downside is that this is a very early researched, as in there's not many studies out there when it comes to refeed days. And that, it's not baseless. It's because, we understand the thermic effect of food, we understand how hormone levels work, we understand metabolism to, an extent where these ideas have been put together into, this idea of a refeed day and getting you into a point of trying to break those weight loss plateaus by raising those. Another, criticism of refeed days is that having maybe 1 day per week of, a calorie surplus might not be enough to raise your leptin levels to reduce cravings. You could also end up binging because you may be on a very restrictive diet, and so whenever you start introducing foods that you don't normally eat, you start overeating. So in conclusion, if you're having a weight loss plateau, I would recommend talking to a diet or dietitian, nutritionist, somebody who's certified or has a license before implementing this. But it is something to think about. It is something to play with when it comes to your diet. And as long as you're being strategic with it, see how it works out. Doesn't hurt. Again, I would read this article, talk to somebody who knows more, and make your own opinion and everything like that. So as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay hydrated.